Hello everybody, welcome back to Firefield Junction, and today I've got another review for you, and as we can see it is in the form of the Bachmann MPV. This one is in the railtrack livery, as we can see. You can also get this with the Network Rail branding, but I've got the one with the railtrack branding, as I've already mentioned. As we can see, this one I've already got this one out of the box and everything because, well, I've had it for a little while and I just didn't really see the point of putting this one back into the box. And also the packaging for this one's a little bit more complicated than the other typical models. So I didn't bother putting it back in the box, but it is pretty much the standard Bachmann packaging that we're used to with the typical box and the block of ice and everything. So we're all used to that. So yeah, that's why I didn't bother putting it back into the box. Yeah, it's the MPV, as I've already mentioned. A very nice model. So much delicate detail on this one. So yeah, there's going to be plenty for us to look at. But anyway, well, where to start? Well, the MPVs, I'm sure, I don't know how many of you out there have seen one in real life. I have once, and that was one of the Network Rail ones. Obviously, they do your typical sort of track tasks. I think they do some track cleaning. I could be wrong, but I think they do some of that, and then obviously they do a few other bits and pieces. I don't know how long they've been around for. They've probably been around for a little while now. They're probably not incredibly long. The model by Bachmann is pretty easy to get. You can pretty much find it everywhere, and they're very good prices as well. So if you do want to get one, it shouldn't be too hard for you to do that. Obviously get your typical instructions and everything with it as well. The motor is obviously in one of the units. But there is a special coupling between the two units, which obviously conducts electrical signals and passes signals from unit to unit and everything. So you want to be really careful with that coupling and make sure you don't damage it or anything, and be really careful when you're coupling and uncoupling the two units. So what we'll do is we'll put the dummy unit to one side, and we'll have a look at the motor unit first. So one thing that you will notice about this unit is, obviously the first thing, it's very heavy. There's plenty of weight to this unit. The entire chassis block here and everything is completely solid metal, and as well as the cab. Yeah, the cab's all solid metal as well, I believe. Actually no, I think it could be plastic. It feels like it's made of metal though, but I'm pretty sure it is plastic though. But yeah, this entire chassis block here and everything, the entire base plate and everything along here is completely solid metal, which obviously has a lot of weight, which is good. Something else to mention with this and the dummy unit as well. Ooh, I'm sure you probably saw this one. Is all of these sections along here. When you buy this model, all of these are actually loose. They're not actually attached to the chassis. They literally just sit on top. But what I've done with this one, and then all three on the dummy, is I've glued them down so they don't fall off. Obviously I haven't glued this one down because the loco's circuit board and everything is underneath here, so obviously you need to access that if you want to. Obviously if you for whatever reason need to replace the circuit board or need to access the motor or anything, or DCC the units, then obviously you need to go underneath this one here. So that's why this one isn't removable, isn't glued down. Sorry. I'll actually just show you now what it's like underneath. If I just lift this up, you can see we've got the circuit board and everything here. This is a 21-pin gauge master decoder, so I have DCC fitted this model, obviously, so I can run it on the layout. And it's a very good decoder for this model. I find it runs very well. I probably need to change a few of the CVs, but as it is, it's a good decoder for this model. I do recommend it. But yeah, as we can see, it's a pretty basic little circuit board. Obviously, there isn't really too much for this. Yeah, it's very suitable for this model. You don't need a massive one like you do with all the other locos. But obviously, you probably won't be able to fit a very big circuit board in this model anyway. As we can see, the motor is actually down inside the chassis here, which is good. And I find that is getting more common now with more modern models these days, like the new 158s. I'm pretty sure used tooling like this as well, with the motor down in the chassis. I'm pretty sure it's probably what they're going to stick with now with a lot of their models. Obviously, if the motor's down in the chassis, obviously that's more room inside the model, and obviously it looks a bit more realistic as well, because you don't have a massive blacked out area or something in the model, which is good. But yeah, that's where the chassis is. As you can see, that's one of the flywheels there. I'm pretty sure there's probably another one underneath here, and obviously then you've got your typical wires and everything going in, which is good. So if we just put this back on very carefully, there we are. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's back on now. Anyway, I think what we should do is have a good look at the detail on this model. So we'll start at this end. She has got, so obviously we've got the buffers there. They're not sprung, which is a bit of a shame. They probably could have made them sprung, but I don't really see the point with this kind of model, but yeah, it would be nice if they were sprung there. We can see we've got some people in the cab, which is obviously that's typical of Bachmann. You usually get one person in the cab, but obviously it seems they put two in this one. Is there anyone in the other cab? No, there isn't. Okay, that's good. So we just got people in one end of the unit, which is good. She does have working lights, as you'd probably expect. So obviously you've got your headlights and everything. Then you've got your tail lights, and it's the same on the other end, as we'll see in a minute. You've got a nice little snowplow there. All of this detail that it's saying comes as standard. I haven't fitted any extra details to this model. We've got bogies there and here. I'm pretty sure they're all driven. Oh no, they're not. Okay, I thought all axles on this unit were driven, but they're not. Okay, so it seems that just this bogie here is what drives the model, and yeah, everything else seems to just be, well, a dummy bogie, but obviously all the wheels on the loco still pick up. It seems that just this one drives. It's strange. I thought all the wheels on this unit drove, but obviously not. So that obviously means that means there's going to be no flywheel probably on this side of the motor. Obviously there's no need because it's not driving this bogie. Okay, that was a little bit unexpected, but okay, that's fair enough. Whereas I suppose you don't need all of the wheels driving with this model, because it is pretty heavy, so that's good. Then you've got all this really delicate detail on the top here, this very delicate grille there, and then these handrails along here. They're really, really delicate, as you can see. They're made of very, very, very delicate plastics. So you want to be really, really careful with them. Make sure you don't snap them or anything. And we've got some more handrails there and over here, and even what looks like proper sort of mesh flooring on the sort of units here. That looks really good. Beautiful livery application, which is good. You can see you've got warning signs and everything here and here. I'm not sure what the number 1 stands for. I think it just means this is maybe Unit 1 or something, because I've just looked and on the dummy it says number 2 by the cab, so I'm guessing this is Unit 1, the other one's Unit 2. So does that make sense? It's a shame that these lights along here and everything don't light up. It would be cool if they did, but they don't. You can probably maybe get some sort of lighting kits that you could fit to this, maybe to have all of these lights light up, but I'm not sure. And then underframe detail, it's good. You can see you got all more warning signs and other sort of writing down there and everything. That's quite cool. Moving along, again, details just as good. Again, handrails along here, warning signs, and then some more really delicate sort of handrails and everything there. You can see really, really flimsy, so you've got to be really careful with those. Again, more buffers. Again, they're not sprung. Then, as you can see, this is the coupling. And again, you've got to be really, really careful with this, because it does conduct electricity between the two units. So you've got to be really, really, really careful when coupling them together and uncoupling them. Coupling them isn't too difficult. I find maybe if you just lay both units down on their side or something, and then maybe very gently support the coupling and gently push them together, I find that's probably a good way to couple them together. And when uncoupling them, I find if you maybe again lay them on their side, then what you need to do is this little bit of plastic here, just gently pull that down, and then both units should just easily pull apart. Because what this does is this sort of clips in underneath on the dummy. We can just see there, where you can see that what looks like a little bit of circuit board or something. And basically, this little bit of plastic here sort of clips up underneath there, and that's what holds the two units together. So I find if you maybe just gently pull that down slightly, and once it's down far enough, both units should just pull apart nice and easily. So obviously you just have to be very careful that you don't damage the coupling, because well yeah, you'd be a bit screwed if you did. But yeah, I think we'll put the motor to one side and have a quick look at the dummy. So obviously the dummy unit, obviously it's just as good. Obviously it's a lot lighter, lot lighter, because there's no motor in this. And on this one, the entire underframe area here is just made of plastic, and yeah, it's pretty light. To be honest, if anything, it's probably similar weight to probably a Hornby Mark III coach or something, maybe even lighter than that. But I suppose there's plenty of weight to it. It's not too light, which is good. But again, just as good as the other one. Same amount of detail. Again, working lights. All the handrails on the side. Again, all of these bits I've glued down so they don't fall off. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. And then, as we can see, again at the other end, just as good. Again, you've got more handrails. These delicate handrails here. Again, you got all-wheel pickup as well on this unit, same as on the other one. You've got more warning signs, just as good underframe detail. You can see the pickups there. It's just amazing. Really good model. Probably one of the best, probably sort of multiple units that Bachmann do. Really nice, and they obviously it does run really well as well. Really good performance on DC or DCC. You can get sound for it as well. Whether I'll do that, to us I probably won't. I'll probably just leave it as a normal DCC fitted model. But you can get sound for it. I have seen one available, but I don't know how common they are. But yeah, I definitely recommend this model. It's just brilliant, isn't it? Really nice, and it looks really good. But I think because of the length of this video, I'll end it here, and then in part 2 we'll get a running layout and get some good shots of her running around and everything, and maybe with some more network rail trains or something. Well, to us, no, I won't better do that because I don't have any more network rail trains at the moment. But yeah, we'll get her running around, get some good shots of her, and yeah, we'll see her running. So this is the end of part 1, and I'll see you guys in part 2.